Good morning, guys. I'm gonna give this video vlog a try and see how it goes. This is not my cup of tea. Hope it's recording right now since I've started. Generally, I'm a writer and do a whole lot better with that. But last night, God just poured out on me. I was trying to go off to sleep, and He started, and I laid there with just everything in my head and just a lot going on in my spirit right now. I'm probably going to delete this and start over because I'm not very good with these video logs. Anyways, just want to talk to the saints and give my take on some stuff that's in my spirit, what's going on. I've been seeing a lot in the lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of events that we're starting to pay attention to. All the earthquakes, one in Ohio yesterday, I believe, 6.5 if I'm right on that. There's this coronavirus. It's just kind of sweeping the whole world. I mean, it appears bad. I don't know how bad it really is. I'm taking them at their word right now until I know otherwise. But I know everybody's scared of it. I know there's a lot of fear. Just not real sure a lot of us are handling it right. Just see some people posting like that preacher that got arrested over in Florida. I don't know the whole story behind all that. I think he turned himself in. There's probably a lot more than what's been put out there. But it's the negativity I'm worried about. I see some people praising him for keeping his doors open. It's like we're being divided right now. See how to put this. There's so much division right now, and Jesus said, a house divided cannot stand. I believe he's talking about Satan's house whenever he was talking about that. But I mean, doesn't it fit both ways? If we're divided, how are we gonna stand up against his house, against Satan's domain? We got to come together. We got to love each other. That's pretty much the greatest commandment Jesus gave us. Well, love the Father, above everything with all your heart, mind, and soul. And the second one's like this, love your neighbor as yourself. And he says, I give you a new commandment, to love each other like just as I've loved you. And I see so much right now with people, godly people, so they claim anyway. And that's another thing. We know each other by our love. So if you truly are a servant of God, if you truly are one of his people, you're going to show it through your love for one another. You're going to show it through your love for your brothers and your sisters out there. And when you're posting stuff, ridiculing these preachers for keeping their doors open, anyone who supports them and saying that they're foolish, that they're the name calling and everything I'm seeing right now, I mean, that's dangerous, people. That's one of the warnings he gave us was, if you call your brother a fool, you're in danger of hellfire. I don't fully understand. I don't fully understand that, but I'm careful, and I'm guilty. Trust me, I'm preaching to myself every bit as much as I am anybody, because I have to examine myself all the time. But I see these comments and stuff saying how foolish he is. He needs to do church online like everybody else is doing. He needs to submit to that authority that the little God is pushing out, the little G God, the government. That's one of our battles. It's principalities, forces of darkness. These places and these forces, as authorities in high places that are not serving God, that are And I fully believe this is just this is a test, especially this one. This is the warm up. I know a lot of you think we're going to check out early, and I'm not going to debate you on that right now. I think you're entitled to that if that's the way you want to believe. I fully believe that we're going to see Jesus on the other side of the tribulation, the full thing right before he pours out his wrath. I don't mean to offend anybody. Not going to criticize your views, your beliefs. You have them for a reason. I'm sure you've looked at stuff, but some people haven't, and some people haven't made up their mind. I have. I fully believe that we're going to see him on the other side of the rapture. And in that, on the other side of the tribulation, and in that view, I feel the need to be prepared for things coming, because not so much I believe that we're going to have to deal with tribulation so much, and that's part of where I'm going with this right now too. Tribulation is coming. He warned us about it. I mean, he mainly said don't be concerned about stuff, especially with the earthquake, the wars and rumors of wars. It's going to be earthquakes in various places. What I took out of all that is, hey, this is going to happen. You know, this is some signs that the end is near. But don't be concerned about it. It's not for you. As a believer, that's not for you. In the same sense, we are going to have to endure some persecution. Probably a lot of persecution. This is going to be the world clashing back at us, especially if bad stuff starts happening. A lot of them are going to look at us and say, there's one of the people that's serving that God who's doing all this to us. And I don't know how. I don't know. I'm guessing there a lot of it, but I believe we're going to have to endure some persecution anyways. Back to the ridiculing of our brothers and sisters. You don't have to agree with everything everybody puts out there, but you need to think about whether or not they're a godly person. It's a simple test, really. Way I understand it. I mean, godly people can make mistakes. They can say the wrong thing. They can give teachings that aren't completely accurate. And I know a lot of them. And they're not written off because they said something that I didn't agree with. I think maybe they're mistaken. That's basically it. They're just mistaken. They're not ungodly people. But if you're calling them fools, you're ridiculing them for keeping their church doors open or whatever they're doing, and it's almost hateful the way I'm seeing this right now. And if you say you love God and hate your brother, you're a liar, because how can you love God who you haven't seen and hate your brother who you have seen? I have a feeling I'm going to do a lot of editing on this, but because I'm not good with these. Anyway, like I said, I'm a writer. For some reason, God's put a block on my writing. I just haven't come out, so I'm going to try this, what He put on my heart last night. I had so much He gave me, and I get on a camera and I'm gonna forget it all. Of course, it's all right. Where was I going with that? He needs us united. He's coming back for His church. There's not the Baptist church that He's coming back for. It's not the Church of Christ He's coming back for. The Pentecostal. It's not the charismatic. It's His people. Who is it that's His people? It's the ones who obey His commandments. The ones who obey Him, and He commands us to love each other. I am not getting this out like I wanted to. that's where I was wanting to go with this. So what if they leave their doors open? You know what? We're all fearful that we're gonna spread the coronavirus because some church is gathering, and I don't know. It's not really the way Jesus did it, but I guarantee you, he didn't run from sickness. He didn't run from any plagues. He did what nobody else would do. He went and put his hand on a leper. And I guess most of them did that. I don't know. I can't remember how all that went, but off the top of my head. But leprosy was pretty nasty stuff. Nobody wanted to be around that. They quarantined them people. They stuck them off over there. He went to them. And maybe that's the way we should be doing it too. I don't know. But healing is Jesus' business. And I don't mean to take away from any doctor or nurses. I know they're wearing themselves out. I see the stuff going on. I see that they're exhausted over in Italy. What I heard was they were working 100+ hours a week and just burning out from this. And I'm not trying to take a bit of their glory. Try to take a bit from them, because I know they're working really hard. I know they're really trying to fight this thing, and they're doing the best they can with it. I just do also know that Jesus is the healer. He is the one. He's the one that lays hands on the sick, and that's what Pastor said the other day. If that's not what I expected him to say, he's like, well, we're going to continue to meet. I'm going to keep the doors open. That's what God told me to do. And he said, if a sick person comes in here, and I was waiting for the next thing he's going to say, I was thinking, well, we're going to have to stick them in the corner, or we're going to have to go outside and have church. Something other. He said, we're going to put our hands on them. I said, what? Yeah, I guess that's right. That's what we're supposed to do. But how can we have church and not get together? That's fine. You want to do it online. That's and participate on a webinar or whatever, or Facebook live. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing you, but we do it occasionally. We do it a lot, actually, just because it's a little bit of a drive for us to get there. And sometimes, I don't know, I get lazy sometimes and I don't make it. But the point of it is, I guess, is that Jesus is in the people business. I know this, and that's the thing we do. We get together, we break bread, we fellowship with one another. This virus shouldn't have an effect on that. Either you believe Jesus or you don't. He said this stuff is not coming for you. He says it's not gonna affect you as a believer. And that was the other thing I had. I don't know if it fits right there or not, but if you're wondering, why is God not speaking to me? Why am I not where I need to be at? Why am I not being led? You know, I was reading in Revelation the other day, and forgot which church, Titus, I think. Titus, if I say it right. They were being reprimanded because they forgot their first love. He told them, turn around, go back to that first love that you lost. I remember that for me. It wasn't when I went and said that Lord's Prayer. When I confessed, repented, I guess, I don't know. It was later on in life. You know, I've been going to church fairly well my whole life, since I was at least 7 or 8 years old, maybe earlier. But something happened, and God revealed Himself to me when I was in my early 20s. And I remember that day very well. I don't remember what day it was. I don't remember. It was Wednesday, I believe, or Tuesday, actually, because we had church on Tuesday back then. But He poured out to me. He revealed Himself to me. He opened up, and I knew, and that was my first love. I was thinking about that last night. That was my first love. And I knew God was real. I knew everything He wrote in the Bible was literal. It could be taken literally. the plagues in Egypt, they could be taken literally. Just kind of rambling a little bit, but I'll edit this, hopefully. We'll see where it goes. I'm gonna stop for a minute.